Hey guys. Welcome back to the channel. This is what if Naruto took care of Sasuke who turned into a baby. During Naruto's final battle against Sasuke, Itachi uses the power he gave him to clean Sasuke's soul and body from darkness by turning him into a newborn baby with no memories of his past. For how long can Naruto keep this a secret? Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. This part will cover chapters 11 and 12. Let's start. Chapter 11. Don't go! Naruto went towards the buried hut, screaming Sasuke's name without stop. Besides the rain sound, he could not hear anything. No, Sasuke. No. The blonde moaned, lifting his hands to his face in despair. Where are you? Nothing. Not even a faint cry. Naruto took a deep breath, trying to control himself and think. Tajukage Bunshin no Jutsu, he cried, gathering up as many clones as he could. The original and clones immediately began to dig the mud. Naruto excavated, removed pieces of wood, stones and mud without stopping for what seemed like hours. His hands were scratched and filled with cuts, but he continued ignoring the pain. Please, Sasuke. Don't be dead. It's all my fault, don't die please. Naruto's clones were not having better luck. They were all removing the rubble without rest, but found nothing. Naruto felt increasingly desperate as the minutes passed. He didn't want to find a corpse, anything but that. One of the clones had just removed a tree stump when he thought he heard something. At first, he thought it was just his mind playing tricks on him, but realized that the sound was real. Quiet! He cried to all the others. Everyone was sent back to silence. The original rose in anticipation. Clone stood again to listen. First he heard nothing but finally managed to hear something like a groan beneath the rubble. There's something here. The original ran faster than any clone and arrived at the scene. Several clones helped him to raise the huge wooden plank. The wailing sound was getting closer. Quick! The original ordered. Help me with this. They all raised the piece of wood and thrown it away. Naruto looked down and almost fainted. Sasuke had been protected by the planks that had formed a sort of box around him, protecting him from dying stuffy or crushed. The baby was crying almost hoarse. He was wet and dirty, but didn't appear injured. Naruto dispelled the jutsu and fell on his knees, grabbing Sasuke against him. Sasuke. Sasuke. What a relief. Naruto muttered, cradling the baby against his chest. I'm so glad you're alive. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sasuke gradually stopped crying. He had been so afraid. He cried but nobody had come. He thought he would die there, all alone in the dark. But his father had come. He was here, he had returned, and Sasuke knew it was going to be okay now. The infant clung to Naruto's sweater with all his might, afraid that his father would leave him again. Naruto took off his coat and wrapped it around Sasuke. The boy was cold and trembling. He had to take him to a doctor. But for now, Naruto merely held Sasuke. Sorry, Sasuke. I'm so sorry. It was all my fault, forgive me. Sasuke couldn't understand what Naruto had said. He just felt happy that he was there. His father was so warm and strong. Sasuke liked him so much. The baby curled up against Naruto, enjoying all the love that radiated from his father, feeling safe and happy. Papa, the boy stammered. Now that he was safe, Sasuke managed to finally fall asleep. Naruto had tears running down his dirty face. He hated himself for having left Sasuke alone. He could have died. Still crying, Naruto began to run towards the village's hospital. 3 days later. Sasuke had a slight fever after having been saved from the rubble. There was nothing serious, and the doctor and nurses thought it was a miracle he had survived just with the flu after a cabin and many tons of wood, mud and rocks had fallen upon him. Naruto had both hands completely covered in bandages. Most cuts and grazes had healed, but the fingers, which had been raw, and his nails, which had separated from the flesh, would take some time to heal. Naruto didn't care about the pain. The guilt he felt was harder to heal. After entering the hospital, Naruto asked the nurse if he could visit Sasuke. The nurse was a middle-aged friendly woman who was always delighted to see him. It was rare for a young man to care so much about a baby. Most teens would rather be having fun with their friends or flirting with girls. "He's much better today," the nurse said kindly. "I'm sure the doctor will discharge him tonight." "Good," Naruto said. Sasuke had been in a nursery with 2 other babies, in a room with 6 cribs. The mothers of the 2 other babies had already left, so Naruto was alone. Sasuke was in the crib next to the window. "You can stay as long as you want," the nurse said. "If you need anything, just call," and left the nursery, closing the door behind her. Naruto moved to Sasuke's crib and sat in a chair beside him. The little boy slept peacefully, lying face down with his thumb in his mouth. "Hello," Naruto murmured softly not to wake the babies. "They told me you're better." Sasuke continued to sleep. Naruto looked at his wounded hands and rubbed them against each other. "I think I'd better say this now while I have the courage. Please forgive me." "Sasuke. Forgive me. I abandoned you. I was a coward. I ran away from you and you almost died because of that. It was all my fault. You don't remember, but we were great friends. At least for me, you were my best friend. You were so strong and cool. I wanted to be just like you. And I want you to know, you bastard. I never hated you for leaving. Never, not once. These last months, well, I like being with you. You are so smart and cute that I'm sure you'll become a fine young man. I hope this time you may grow up happy, Sasuke. I want you to be happy, make friends. You don't need many, as long as they are true friends. You gotta be more careful this time. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Do not eat many strawberries because you're allergic. Be careful with girls, they won't leave you alone in a few years. Study hard and follow your dreams. And don't give up no matter what happens." Naruto stood up and stroked the baby's black hair. "I can't stay with you. I can't. You need a family, a real family with a mother and a father. You need brothers to play with in a nice house, maybe a dog or a cat. I met a family who wants to have a 3rd child. The mother is very nice and beautiful, you'll like her. The father is also very cool and loves his children and wife. Their 2 children are twins and they also want a little brother to play with. They all have black hair and black eyes like you, so you definitely won't feel different. They live in a big house with a garden. They even have a tree house. Isn't that great?" Sasuke woke up. Naruto stood watching him open his eyes slowly and yawning. When the baby finally noticed Naruto, he looked at him with his big sleepy eyes. "This land is very far away from the ninja world. Probably the inhabitants don't even know what a ninja is. On one side is a waste. You were such a gifted shinobi, but maybe it's better this way. You can live in peace without the need to fight against anybody." Sasuke began to laugh and raised his arms. Naruto grabbed him and sat in the chair. The baby's arms were around his neck and Naruto patted his back, feeling the weight of separation. "Will you remember me?" "Probably not. But I want you to know that I'll never forget you, Sasuke. Never." Sasuke, oblivious about what Naruto was saying, merely rested his head against Naruto's blonde hair. The baby went back to sleep smiling. During sunset, Naruto was already at the gate of the Minamoto house. The family that he had observed and studied during the last 3 days had gone to a picnic, and would be home soon. When they arrived, they would find Sasuke. Naruto went through the gate and went down the terrace towards the doorstep. He could smell the flowers that Mrs. Minamoto so carefully planted in the garden surrounding the house and in the flower beds along the windows. Sasuke was asleep, wrapped in a blanket. As Naruto approached the door, he realized what he was about to do. "I'm doing what's right for Sasuke," he said to himself. "He is not safe with me. I'm not what he needs. What matters is that Sasuke is happy." The doorstep was right in front of him. Naruto looked at Sasuke's sleeping face and hugged him, knowing that it was the last time he would see him. The tears began running down his cheeks, falling on the baby's red blanket. "Goodbye, Sasuke." Before cowing, Naruto landed Sasuke on the doorstep and walked off with his head down, repressing a cry. Sasuke finally awoke. He didn't recognize the place where he was and could only see a huge door and the sky getting dark. With some difficulty, he unraveled the blanket and sat down, looking from side to side. Feeling alone again, the baby almost started crying until he saw Naruto's unmistakable blonde hair moving away. "Duh! Ga! Duh!" the boy exclaimed, stretching his hands towards Naruto, but the latter continued to move away. Sasuke wanted to go to his father. When trying to go down the doorstep, the baby ended up face down, lifting his head and chest with his arms outstretched. Sasuke wanted to move and go to his father that continued to move away. Perhaps it was a game. If he got to him, his papa would be happy and proud of Sasuke. Straining the knees, the baby stood on all fours. After that, his right hand stretched forward, the left hand stretched further, and, instinctively, he pulled his right knee and moved forward with his right hand. He was moving. Naruto continued to walk, unable to stop the tears from falling. He still felt the warmth from Sasuke's small body, but the decision had been made. He couldn't. "Papa." Naruto stopped suddenly. Could have sworn he had heard. "Papa." With wide eyes, Naruto turned back. Sasuke had woken up and left the blanket, crawling towards Naruto. Sasuke was crawling. The baby smiled at Naruto, glad for getting his attention. Even more determined, Sasuke continued to move forward. "Sasuke, you," Naruto murmured, while Sasuke kept crawling towards him. "Stop! Don't make this more difficult than it already is." But Sasuke continued to crawl. "Pa! Pa! Papa," the baby said, stretching out his right arm, asking him to come to him. Naruto retreated several steps, shaking his head as if to reject what Sasuke wanted from him. Sasuke's expression changed. The baby was surprised and confused. He could not understand why Naruto was moving away. "Papa?" Naruto turned and began running towards the gate. Seeing that Naruto was running away from him, Sasuke still stretched his arm harder in a futile attempt to reach him. Sasuke continued to crawl, but Naruto was getting farther away. He was going away. His father was leaving him. He was leaving him and would never return. "Papa!" Sasuke shouted, now with tears running down his blushed cheeks. "Papa! Papa!" Naruto could not ignore the screams and turned around. Sasuke's eyes were filled with tears and he still continued to crawl towards him. The baby could hardly breathe amid the sobs of despair, the hurt evident in his eyes. "Why? Go back, please, Sasuke. Go back. But Sasuke moved forward. He was tired, his arms and legs hurt, but he didn't stop. "Don't go. Please don't go." Naruto took a step back, shaking his head. Sasuke tried to crawl faster, but slipped and fell to the ground. He tried to get up, but his arms would not obey him. He didn't take his eyes off Naruto the whole time. "Don't leave me." Naruto turned his back and took a step forward. Sasuke lowered his head and huddled against the floor, crying desperately, heartbroken. Naruto stopped and clenched his fists tightly. After turning around, he observed the child crying. Without thinking, he took a step towards Sasuke. Then another. And another. When he realized, was already a meager 2 meters from the baby. "Sasuke," he murmured softly. The baby opened his eyes and looked up in disbelief, still sobbing and sniffing, but the crying stopped. Naruto let himself fall on his knees and Sasuke continued to stare into his eyes, tears still running down on both their faces. Finally, Naruto held out his arms. Sasuke merely looked at the arms, fearing it was a lie. But Naruto continued with arms outstretched, welcoming him. Slowly, Sasuke gathered strength in his arms and legs to be on all fours. More confident, Sasuke crawled in his direction. The sun had set and the sky had acquired a shade of blue and pink, the stars shining in the sky. Sasuke crawled into Naruto's arms and they hugged in the dusk, fitting as two pieces of a puzzle. Naruto leaned his head against Sasuke's face, and 2 tears fell on the baby's black hair. This time, Naruto felt the seal forming underneath the sweater and noticed the chakra wire coming out of his body only to be absorbed by Sasuke. With one hand, he pulled Sasuke's shirt up, revealing his back. The symbol of the Dark Phoenix gradually appeared. With the other hand, Naruto picked up the red kunai from his pocket. The chakra line that united their two hearts became immediately visible. Sasuke leaned his head against Naruto's chest and closed his eyes. His two little hands clutched the blonde's coat hard, smiling. Naruto could not stop looking at the chakra line. It was so thin. A small cut with the kunai and everything would be over. It would be so easy. Naruto raised his kunai in the air and brought it down with force, piercing his hand, which held Sasuke's back. The blood ran down his hand and fingers, hot and sticky. Naruto watched the red liquid touch Sasuke's pale skin and running down his back. The black phoenix turned red as blood and gave a faint glow. Naruto felt a shock from head to toes when his coat and shirt were opened suddenly, causing the small amount of chakra that he was donating Sasuke to become huge and explosive, passing to the baby with an alarming speed. Naruto's blood merged with the phoenix's symbol, which stretched its wings gloriously before shrinking in it and be absorbed by the boy's skin. The blood quickly reached Sasuke's bone marrow where it multiplied. Naruto's blood merged with Sasuke's. The baby's AB blood type received Naruto's B blood type, and the Uzumaki's DNA was mixed with the Uchiha's. Naruto held Sasuke against him as the jutsu was completed, and his chakra and blood began to belong to the baby's body, making them true blood relatives. When it finished, Naruto felt the flow of chakra diminish and disappear. The seal of the phoenix was gone on Sasuke's back along with both seals from their chests, and the chakra line that united their hearts. They were no longer necessary since they had fulfilled its function. Naruto was panting and tired, but when he looked at Sasuke he could not stop smiling. The baby opened his onyx eyes and looked curiously at Naruto, who let him grab his blonde hair. Naruto could feel his son's heart beat in unison with his. His son. Sasuke was his son. My son, he is my son! Sasuke placed his hands on his father's chest and smiled delightedly. Papa. Papa. I am his father. I'm Sasuke's father. He is my child. Naruto leaned his forehead against his son's forehead, causing Sasuke to giggle and grab a lock of his father's hair. I guess I'm your dad now, Sasuke, Naruto told him tenderly. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Naruto wrote 2 letters, one to Gaara, not forgetting to thank him for all the work he had to learn the jutsu and for having kept his secret, and another to Tsunade. Naruto told her everything that had happened and what he had decided to do. They still had to deal with some details, but the Hokage finally agreed with his plan. So, Naruto sent a frog to Konoha with Uchiha Sasuke's sword, and Tsunade announced to the world that the last Uchiha was killed by his former teammate, Naruto Uzumaki. Over time, people would eventually forget Sasuke's atrocities and continue with their lives. But Naruto couldn't return to Konoha and take the risk that people would find out the truth about his adopted son. As Sasuke grew up, ninjas, especially his friends and teachers, would be suspicious. He didn't want Sasuke to grow up surrounded by the contempt and hatred that Naruto had lived during his childhood. As painful as it was for Naruto, they would have to live out of the village for a while, at least until things calmed down. So Tsunade announced that Uzumaki Naruto, the war hero and candidate for Hokage, would follow the example of his master Jiraiya and travel the world for an indefinite period of time. The blonde in question had just read the letter Tsunade wrote him after giving the news to his friends and teachers. Naruto felt guilty for worrying them, but knew he had no other choice at the moment. When the time came, he would take his son home with him. The baby was fast asleep on an old futon in a room of a motel that Naruto rented while taking all precautions on their future. The young ninja sighed deeply, yet was frightened by the responsibility that expected and the difficulties that they would face. But when he saw Sasuke sleeping so peacefully, Naruto felt more relieved. The young father lay down beside the baby and slept with his son in his arms. In an icy prison in the land of iron, the samurai were running from one side to another. 2 very dangerous prisoners had escaped from their cells, burst the prison wall and escaped. The snow covered up their footsteps and eventually the samurai couldn't get them. After a year and 2 months in a high-security prison in the land of iron, Suigetsu Hozuki and Yugo were free. Apart from that war had begun and ended, They had no information about what had happened in the rest of the shinobi world. Sasuke and Karen had disappeared and never tried to free them. There were rumors in jail about Sasuke being ahead of Akatsuki with Madara and that he was the only one to survive the war. About Karen they didn't heard anything, she might as well be dead. Whatever happened to them, Suigetsu and Yugo were arrested as terrorists while Sasuke Uchiha, the person who formed the team and that united them, left when they lost their usefulness. Oh no! They would not be passively waiting for the death sentence. They had the intention to know all that had passed since their leader had left them under the rubble. Sasuke Uchiha had a lot of explaining to do. Chapter 12, Operation Fox Hunt. 2 years later. March 29th, Kanahagakure. Haruno Sakura woke up with a huge headache. She felt her head heavy and her brain made into mush. Her stomach was spinning and she felt her eyes swollen. What the hell happened last night? She asked herself as she got out of bed. An empty bucket was conveniently placed next to the pillow. Sakura put her hand in her face and sighed. As a medical ninja, she recognized the signs of a hangover, even if she didn't want to admit it. A little dizzy, she managed to drag herself to the bathroom and washed her face. When she saw the mirror, she saw a young, pale, and sick girl. Her pink-colored hair, which recently she decided to grow back, was in disarray and without glow, her green eyes red and swollen. She finally remembered. Sakura had gone to celebrate her 90th birthday at a restaurant along with Ino, Tsunade, and Shizen. Sai, Kakashi, and Captain Yamato already had given her congratulations but could not come to dinner. Now that she thought about it, Sakura was glad that they hadn't come. The last thing she remembered was drinking a bottle of sake without stopping. Holy shit, she muttered to the mirror. You can say that again. Ino was leaning against the door of the bathroom with a radiant smile on her lips. Her long blonde hair was perfectly combed and stuck in her usual horsetail. Her clothes were clean and prim and proper, while Sakura was exhausted, nauseated, and with a huge stain of vomit in her nightdress. What are you doing here, Ino? She said sourly. I did the favor to drag you home, drunk like a fish, after we left restaurant. While you staggered and shouted nonsense, I undress you, dress you with a pajama and lay you in bed. But before you vomited all the way from the restaurant to the apartment entrance, you threw up at 4 a.m. again. Shit. Ino shrugged. It's for you to learn to not drink before you're 20. It was Shirsho who told me to drink a bottle. But she told you not to drink the next 5. 5? No. Oh yeah. Sakura covered her eyes, trying to remember the previous night. All she could remember was a group of waiters shouting something. Tell me the truth, did I make a fool out of myself? You want me to tell you the truth or tell you that I didn't make a fool out of yourself? Oh shit. Sakura sat on the toilet seat and looked at Ino. What happened? Well, first you began to grumble and complain that you had put on weight since last month. After complaining about that, you told Tsunade-sama she was not giving you any missions lately. Finally, you complained about Naruto. What did I said about Naruto? Oh, the usual, that he should have returned to Konoha. Has passed 2 years and 8 months since he left, what the hell he is doing, why he doesn't return to Konoha as he should, the usual. I see. Sakura replied, rising. Tsunade-sama was angry with me? Ino shook her head. No. She laughed. Said you were welcome to the adult women world. Sakura laughed and followed Ino to the door. Tonight. Sakura whispered so no one could hear. I'll be there, Ino said. Goodbye. After Ino was gone, Sakura took a painkiller and took a bath. It was hard to believe that she finally bought her own apartment. It was nothing special, but was hers alone. Living alone was an important step in adult life, and she felt proud of herself. Of course, Naruto and Sasuke already lived alone since childhood. As always, when she thought about her teammates, Sakura felt a wave of pain in her chest. She was furious and felt betrayed when Naruto had left Konoha to kill Sasuke, not because she didn't understand he had to kill him, but because he didn't have the courage to talk to her. Only 3 days later she found out that Naruto had left, when she went to his house to see if he was okay. When she asked the Hokage about Naruto, she discovered that he had decided to kill Sasuke on his own and didn't want any help. Kakashi also had been sad with the decision, but didn't feel as betrayed as Sakura. Their sensei came to accept Naruto's decision and said to Sakura that they had to trust him. When the attacks ended in the Land of Mountains, everyone in Konoha had assumed that Naruto had completed his mission and that Sasuke Uchiha was dead. However, Naruto didn't return home. Days, weeks, and months went by, but Naruto did not return. He had disappeared just like Sasuke. Tsunade sent squads to seek him. Sakura and Kakashi did also go, but found nothing. Naruto's trail, like Sasuke's, ended in the last village Sasuke destroyed. And since it had been weeks since Naruto had left, the tracks were lost. It was as if the two had vanished from the face of the earth. Obviously, they began to formulate hypotheses about what happened. Naruto could have defeated Sasuke and was injured or dead, they could have killed each other, could have allied themselves and fled. Anyone who dared to believe in the latter case in front of Sakura ended up unconscious and bleeding. Naruto would never follow Sasuke. There was no brotherly love that would make Uzumaki Naruto betray the village. I know him. Naruto would never join Sasuke-kun, and Sasuke-kun would never let Naruto ally with him, Sakura thought while washing her hair. However, as the days passed, Sakura began to fear the worst. There was a huge possibility that both her team's 7 friends had fought and died together, as Naruto said he would. 8 months after Naruto has gone, and soon after Sakura turned 18, Tsunade assembled all the ninjas in the village to announce that Naruto had contacted the village and declared that he had killed Uchiha Sasuke by bringing his sword. Sasuke's body was destroyed and Naruto would travel the world. The Hokage forbade them from looking for Naruto. Sakura and all her classmates and teachers wanted to know more details about what had happened and why Naruto only contacted Konoha after 8 months. But Tsunade simply told them that Naruto had been resting and was already in good health. Sakura wondered what kind of injuries would have been for Naruto to take 8 months to heal. It was all too suspicious. The Naruto that she knew would not go around the world when the village needed him. The young ninja returned to the room wrapped in a towel and put her casual clothes. Apart from some reports, she had the day off. On the desk were 2 photos, one of the new team Kakashi, who they took after a mission in which she, Naruto, Sai, Captain Yamato and Kakashi-sensei were smiling for a photograph in front of Ichiraku Ramen. The second picture was of the original Team 7. Despite everything that had happened, Sakura mourned Sasuke. His death saddened her as much as Kakashi's in a way that no other team could understand. When looking at the old photo, Sakura could not suppress her eyes from filling with tears. Sasuke was dead. Naruto had disappeared. And she, again, was left behind and spaced out. Sakura wiped her tears furiously and rushed to leave. This time they were not going to leave her behind. After passing the hospital and finishing some reports, Sakura decided to visit her Shusho, hoping not to have humiliated herself last night as much as she imagined. When passing through the halls of Hokage residence, Sakura crossed with the members of Team Kurenai, Kiba, Shino and Hinata. "Oh. Hello," Sakura greeted. "If it isn't Sakura," said Kiba as Akamaru barked at his side. "It's been a while." "Good morning," Shino said simply. "Good morning," Sakura-san, Hinata greeted softly. "Your mission went well?" Sakura asked. "We completed the mission in record time," Kiba exclaimed. "We just talked to Tsunade-sama," Hinata said. "Well," Kiba continued. Hinata was eager to hear news about Naruto. Hinata blushed like a tomato eye. Sakura's body was suddenly tense. "News? How so?" "Tsunade-sama received a letter from Naruto-kun last night," Hinata said, a little embarrassed. I thought you knew, Sakura-san." "I didn't know. Thanks for having warned me. Goodbye." Sakura pulled away, then stopped and turned to his colleagues. "Don't forget." "Yes. Tonight." "We didn't forget," Kiba exclaimed. As Team Kurenai left the building, Sakura knocked gently at her mentor's door. She could not show up too anxious, or Tsunade could come to be suspicious of her motives. "Come in," the Hokage ordered, looking up from the scrolls she was reading when she saw her student. "Oh, Sakura! What brings you here?" "Good morning, Shursho. I came to deliver the reports from the hospital." "Leave them on the desk. Shizen will see them later." "How do you feel?" Sakura blushed. She knew the teacher was referring to the binge. "Much better than when I woke up." Tsunade smiled. "There's nothing like our first hangover to feel like an adult. I hope I didn't embarrass you." "It would be very difficult to embarrass me after all the nonsense I've ever done. Enjoy your time off." "Thank you, Shursho. I heard that Naruto wrote you." Tsunade was a little tense but smiled at her. "Hinata told you, huh?" "Yes, indeed. The letter arrived yesterday." "Why didn't you say anything at dinner?" "I didn't want to disturb you in your birthday party. You're always angry when Naruto writes." Sakura nodded slowly. "Could you tell me what he wrote, please? Is he okay?" Tsunade put down her brush on the table and stared at her student. Sakura had become a great ninja in recent years, and the Hokage felt an immense pride and affection for her, like she was her little sister. However, Sakura was still only 19 years old. "He said everything was fine and is learning many new techniques. He wishes you a happy birthday and said he missed everyone here in Konoha." "He said when he is coming back?" Tsunade sighed. Sakura asked always the same questions. When will Naruto come back and where is he? "No, he didn't say. He also didn't say where he is." "But how long is he going to travel? It has been almost 3 years." "That's up to him. Naruto is no longer a child and has the right to travel a bit after all the sacrifices he made for Konoha." Sakura felt a bit embarrassed by her outburst, but did not give up. "I know he has the right to travel, but it doesn't sound like him, Shursho. Naruto wants to be Hokage. He loves Konoha and he had already traveled with Jiraiya-sama. Something doesn't sound right. Would not it be better to have someone look for him? Just to confirm that he is okay?" "We've had this conversation, Sakura. Naruto is a trusted ninja and I gave him permission to travel without being disturbed, and I hope you will not ignore my orders." Sakura lowered her head. "No point arguing anymore." "Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry." "You have no reason to worry, Sakura, believe me. When you least expect, that brat shows up." After Sakura left her office, Tsunade leaned against the chair and sighed. Keeping Naruto's secret was not as easy as she hoped. Naruto's letter had come from a distant land called Land of Sun, a little-known peninsula with no ninjas, which subsisted on trade and tourism. What she had told Sakura was true. Naruto wished her a happy birthday and said he had missed them all. He also told Tsunade that had mastered many new techniques and Sasuke's new developments. Tsunade recalled when she received Naruto's letter, 2 years earlier. She felt stunned, confused, angry, and not knowing what to do about it. For this reason, demanded Naruto to meet with her outside of Konoha. Tsunade was sitting on a bench near the forest surrounding Konoha. Naruto's letter was tucked in one pocket, completely crumpled. After months of concerns with that mischievous kid, Tsunade received the most bizarre letter of her life. She needed to see Naruto with her own eyes to understand. She also had to see Sasuke. A shadow emerged from the trunk of a tree. Tsunade rose from the bench. Finally, Naruto Uzumaki appeared in front of her, smiling as always. "Hello, Bachan," he greeted cheerfully, as if nothing had happened. Naruto was a little taller than the last time she saw him in her office but appeared healthy and well-fed. But the Hokage's attention was fixed on the bundle that the young ninja held in his arms. "Naruto. That is..." Naruto looked at the bundle and smiled sadly. "What I wrote was true, Bachan." "That's Sasuke?" Naruto nodded. "Want to see him?" Tsunade approached Naruto and he handed her the bundle into her arms. The fifth Hokage stared, open-mouthed, the baby asleep in the blankets. The resemblance with Sasuke Uchiha was astonishing. "Unbelievable! This child is Sasuke?" "It's true." "And the Shiraha clan's jutsu did this? I cannot believe it. I thought the rebirth jutsu was a legend. How Itachi did know about it?" Naruto shrugged. "I have no idea. Tsunade continued to gaze at the sleeping baby. She could not believe that child was the international criminal who they had fought against. The baby looked healthy, was clean and warm enough. What shocked her most was his peaceful expression as he slept. You have been taking care of him? Yes. Uzumaki Naruto taking care of a baby? That is scary. Hey! I take good care of him. That's what surprises me. Tsunade felt the baby move and looked at him. Sasuke was awake and looked startled and sleepy at the stranger who was holding him. Oh! He woke up. Sasuke could not take his eyes off the pretty lady who was holding him, rubbing his chubby little hands. Gah, the boy gurgled. Tsunade was also surprised. How could this innocent and adorable baby be Uchiha Sasuke? So he lost his memories, the Hokage murmured as she unwrapped Sasuke's blanket and laid him on the garden bench to examine him. While the medical ninja checked his reflexes, vision and hearing, Sasuke started to get nervous and whimpered at that stranger. Tsunade blinked, surprised. What's wrong, little boy? I'm not hurting you. Sasuke cringed when she tried to pick up and cried even louder. Naruto came over and stood in front of Sasuke. Seeing his father, the baby calmed down and stretched his arms so Naruto would hold him. Papa! Papa! Sasuke exclaimed, clinging to Naruto. Look at you, huh? Naruto said to the baby in his arms. You don't have to worry. Papa is not going anywhere. Tsunade was amazed. Naruto was behaving like a true loving father, stroking Sasuke's back until he cooled off. The baby seemed very happy in the arms of the ninja that he had tried to kill several times, and now loved with all his heart. Sasuke had really become Uzumaki Naruto's son. The jutsu is truly extraordinary. He became a perfectly normal baby, Tsunade said. There is nothing to indicate that he was previously an adult. Naruto nodded slowly and returned Sasuke to sit on the bench for Tsunade to continue to examine him. After a few minutes, the doctor pulled out a syringe from her pocket and ordered Naruto to hold the baby. You're going to take his blood? Naruto asked. Why? Sasuke is a new person now and will need new documents. I will open a new file for him and I need all the data I can. Now hold him tight. Naruto grabbed Sasuke and Tsunade poked him with the needle, causing the boy to scream in pain and tried to flee. When Tsunade handed him over and put a plaster on the sting, Sasuke curled up against Naruto's chest, still crying in pain. Naruto, are you sure you want to travel? Wouldn't it be easier to get back to Konoha with Sasuke? We could help you. Thanks, Bachan. But I want Sasuke to have a happy and carefree childhood. It is too dangerous for him to return to Konoha. The baby continued to cry softly. Sasuke put his thumb to his mouth and sucked on it, leaning his head against his father's chest. But I want to bring Sasuke back to Konoha one day. This is still his home. I just want him to be welcome. Naruto stared at the Hokage's eyes. Bachan. Could you still accept Sasuke as a Konoha shinobi? Tsunade looked at the baby and sighed. The kid was a genius the first time, she said softly. From the strategic point of view, it would be a huge waste to give up a ninja so talented. Thank you, Bachan. You won't regret it. Sasuke will be a great ninja. If Sasuke wants to become a ninja, he will be welcome in Konoha, Tsunade said with a serious tone. I hope you won't try to recreate the Uchiha Sasuke you knew, Naruto. That's wrong. You should let this kid be whatever he wants. Of course I'm not going to force Sasuke. He can be whoever he wants. I'm just saying that if he wants to be a ninja, I like that he belonged to Konoha. I'll let him grow normally. Tsunade approached Naruto. Seeing her, Sasuke was worried that she would return to make another boo-boo. But Tsunade merely stroked his raven hair. I think after all that this kid went through, he deserves a normal childhood without traumas, said the Hokage. I will agree with your plan, Naruto, but with conditions. Naruto blinked confused. What conditions? First, you'll write me every month and you must tell me everything you did and how Sasuke is growing. Second, every year you will receive a visit from me or from the Kazekage for us to examine Sasuke with our own eyes. Are we clear? Okay, I accept. I'll invoke a frog to get you. Good. I'll be responsible for Sasuke's documents and… Tsunade pulled an envelope from her pocket and gave it to Naruto. This is my statement of how you're not a missing nin, and gives you permission to work on behalf of Konoha where you want. I also added some money. Thank you? Ah. And Naruto. Huh. Do not feed him exclusively with ramen. Tsunade waved Naruto goodbye and returned to Konoha. In the present, Sakura decided to sit on a bench near Konoha's gates. She didn't expect the Hokage to tell her where Naruto was, but she was still disappointed. They were teammates. They were classmates since they were children. Why couldn't she know where that orange idiot was? Naruto was childish, irresponsible, and very naive. How the hell could they let him leave Konoha alone? Sakura buried her face in her hands. Konoha was not the same without Naruto. Depression does not suit you well, a voice said. Sakura looked up and saw a red-haired ninja with glasses. Karen. Karen sat next to Sakura and stretched her legs. Despite not being a Konoha ninja, she stayed after the war ended, doing chores with the interrogation squad. No news about Naruto, huh? Tsunade-sama received a letter yesterday. He said he's fine. But didn't say where he was. Sakura nodded. That big jerk. Why doesn't he come back already? Karen shrugged. Sakura stared at the gate, one of the few things that survived the war against the Akatsuki. It was here in this bench. Sakura muttered. Karen sat up. Huh. I declared myself to Sasuke-kun here on this bench, when we were 13. I must have been the last person to see him before he walked away from Konoha to join Orochimaru. I felt so alone that day, I would have done anything for Sasuke-kun not to leave me. But he left anyway, because I meant nothing to him. And now I lost Naruto too. Karen looked at her for several minutes. Will you let him leave you behind? The redhead asked. Of course not. Not this time. Karen smiled at her and stood up, throwing her a bouquet of flowers to her lap. Do what you have to do, she said before moving away. More determined, Sakura grabbed the flowers and went to the ruins of the Uchiha clan. All buildings, including Sasuke's former home, had been sealed with jutsus and barriers to prevent people from entering. The name of the Uchiha had become synonymous with power-hungry monsters due to Sasuke and Madara's atrocities. Itachi's name, however, was written into the memorial stone. Uchiha Itachi was buried as a hero of the village while Sasuke was scorned as a traitor and a murderer. So Tsunade handed the Uchiha's sword, the last thing left from him, to Kakashi and Sakura, who stabbed it in a rock near the Uchiha clan's ruins to serve as a grave. When she reached the rock, Sakura knelt and carefully placed the bouquet on the front of the slightly rusty sword. In the rock were carved the words, Tomodachi and I Isaridi. Beloved friend. A grave that Sakura and Kakashi made not in memory of the Sasuke who had died, but for the Sasuke who lived in their memories as member of Team 7, as a student, and as a friend. It's been a while since the last time you came here, Sakura, said a voice that Sakura recognized immediately. Kakashi approached his student, and also looked at the sword. I know that Naruto wrote, Kakashi said softly. I imagine that Tsunade-sama has not said anything about where he is. Sakura stood up and cleaned the dirt from her knees. No, she didn't say anything, as always. Kakashi watched her for a moment before speaking. Sakura, you know what the Hokage would do if she discovered what you are planning? Sakura turned to her sensei with eyes wide open. How? At that moment, Sai jumped out from behind a tree. Sai! You bastard! You promised not to tell anyone. Sorry, Sakura, but I had to tell. Sakura was about to punch him, but Kakashi stopped her. Calm down, Sakura. I don't care if you have told everyone, the Kunoichi growled. I'm going to search for Naruto and drag his sorry ass back to Konoha, even if I must do it alone. There is no need for it, Kakashi said calmly. Nobody will stop you from searching for Naruto. Sakura looked at her sensei, gasped. You will not stop me. Why? Kakashi-senpai wants to join you, Yamato said, jumping from behind another tree. And so do I. Yamato Taishu! Sakura exclaimed. We all think that Naruto would not leave the village except for a very compelling reason, Kakashi explained. Maybe Tsunade-sama knows more than she told us, or maybe Naruto didn't tell her the whole truth. I think it is better we join you and prevent you from doing any nonsense. Kakashi-sensei. That means that you'll help us? I think it's better. A figure green jumped from trees, making Sakura scream with fear. You can count on me too, Guy exclaimed, doing his famous pose. The fire of youth will allow us to find Naruto-kun. Guy-sensei too. Sakura mumbled, a little embarrassed. Who else knows? Kakashi whispered in the ear of his student. Guy is noisy, but he is effective. We will work much better with him, the sensei said. Kurenai also knows but won't be able to participate because of her baby. Sakura nodded, resigned. Well, the more the merrier. Near midnight, Team Kakashi, Team Asuma, Team Kurenai, and Team Guy met in a culvert that Shikamaru discovered beneath the Forest of Death. All ninjas were kneeling around a world map marked with several pins. The walls were full of documents, notes, maps, and scrolls. All the information that they had managed to gather about the disappearance of Uzumaki Naruto, without the Hokage finding out. They would continue their missions as usual, but take advantage of every opportunity that came when they left the village to look for clues on Naruto's whereabouts. When they found him, they shall go fetch him. Shikamaru rested his elbows on the table and turned to the other shinobi. Tonight we start Operation Fox Hunt. That's it for part 3. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.